Okay, I think that we are live. Let me just check online. I'm not really sure if you can see me, but we're just gonna see if we are live. Yep. Okay, so let me just switch on the screen. Before that, let's just add on. Hi everyone. This is Aniket D'Souza, and welcome to another Tuesday talk session. So today I want to basically share something with you that um, I've used and I've utilized it for my own personal gains as well as also I've done it for brands as well. And I'm going to show you and I'm going to give you some examples. I'm going to show you uh, of how did which are the ones that I've actually done, how I named my own road, and obviously I'm going to also show you which brand have I actually worked on to actually get this to change Google Maps data, right? So let's head on right there. I'm going to shift my screen over here, and we're going to focus on that. So let's shift to the screen. Okay, all right. So you can see my screen right now, and I'm going to head over to Google Maps. All right, and let me just show you the place that I'm talking about. So this was a place where I used to stay earlier. I just have to, kind of zoom in, and you should be able to see the name. So this was basically the road that I had kind of named after myself, right? And there it is, right? So that's basically the name. I actually changed this road over here because that's where I used to live. So this is one of the examples. I'll show you another one which I had done for one of our clients. The one that I did for my name was just for fun, and then I actually did one for my client as well. Let me just actually search for that on Google. So yeah, so you can see this. Manubhai Jewelers is the client, but there's something called as Manubhai Jewelers Junction, which is basically on the road itself. It's an intersection, right? So you can actually, if I click on that, it'll just take me to that junction spot where you can actually see Manubhai Jewelers right here, right next to it, which is this one. This is basically Manubhai Jewelers, and I actually ended up creating a spot for Manubhai Jewelers Junction. Now, um, this is how you can use it for a brand. Like this gives a hardcore concrete branding. So maybe you do not have a circle to your name, but think about it. A lot of people browse online, and this is what they see. So you want to create exposure in different parts of the country, different parts of the city for yourself. You will be able to do this as well. It's in fact a lot of people think that this data is actually created by Google, but it is not. Okay, so the way it actually goes. Let me just shift my screens. Hold on. Yeah. So the way it actually goes is not based on so it's not based on trying to figure out manually do it via Google Business Places. Actually, the place that you end up going to do these kind of edits is Google Maps itself. It does not happen in Google Places. A lot of people think that, okay, I have a Google My Business account, I can create these. No, things like junctions, things like roads, things like intersections, and all these works, these additional minuscule features, right? These do not come under Google My Business at all. Google My Business, you can manage your business, you can create a location, you can create a place. They'll send you a postcard with a coupon, with a Google location code verification, and you will be able to verify that place as well. But with reference to something like this, something that I have basically done, which is editing the road segment itself, or editing, let's say, an area and naming it to yourself. This is, you some people call it hacking, but it's just another way of saying that, okay, you know the platform so much that you can manipulate it. It's very similar to a lawyer, or very similar to an accountant who solves a $1 million puzzle ends up getting heftily paid because he knew how to hack the financial system. Similarly, with a lawyer, if a person is has committed a crime, and a lawyer is able to get that person out of the crime or show it not as a crime, then that person needs to, or that lawyer needs to know the system enough that he can actually manipulate it. So at the end of the day, the lawyer as a profession is also can also be hacking, or can also be a hacker. But only difference is he's hacking the law, the accountants are hacking the financial books of a company, or whether it is or a person like me. I'm not doing any kind of code, but basically I'm trying to hack the system that's actually been deployed. Now, a few things that come about when you're hacking any system like this is the people behind it. So you need to know the vulnerabilities of the people behind it. Okay, so when actually ended up creating the road, I did not know it would be possible or not. But here's the thing: I picked up a road that I wanted to change. I went into the edit settings. Right, I went into the road settings that were there, and then over there was an option saying that okay, this place is incorrect, and it could be incorrectly marked and things like that. So what I did is I selected in those, and I kind of I said that this is incorrectly marked. Maybe you need to kind of check on it. So that's exactly what happened. And as you can see, I managed to fix it because we were able to, I was able to kind of go through it and I get an understanding of what happened, how it was set up. I was able to change something that was already put before I basically came and acquired that road online on Google, right? So I'll just give you a quick glimpse of how that kind of change looks, so that you get an idea. I'm just heading over to my browser, and I'm going to see that on my screen. Okay, so I'm just going to go to, let's say I pick a spot on this, and I will select something like this, and I'll say you can see over here the kind of options that you can see on the screen, right? So you can see there's watch here, search nearby, print, all of that. And I'm not going to say add a missing place because it's not exactly a missing place. Hold on. I see that there is some issue here. Yeah. So I'm not saying that this is like a missing place, but what this is, or it's not a business, but I can say it's a reported data problem. I can say, yeah. So that's basically what I would do. I would select over here and say reported data problem. And when I say reported data problem, it's going to show me all the things in that area, and it's going to give me a list. So what is the data problem, right? So it tells me, do you want to fix the wrong info? And it tells me this is the Lokmanya Tilak Road, or a particular crossroad, or any of these locations. Do you want to kind of give a correction and all of that? So here's what I did when I actually ended up creating the junction for the brand. What I did was, I selected them, and I had an option to edit it. So let's say I'm selecting road name, and I get an option saying that okay, select the entire road or select that particular area only, or whether it's closed or blocked, report that, or the road doesn't exist. I can mention that, drawn incorrectly, traffic and other. So I get these options, right? So that's what I did. I basically selected on that particular area. I clicked on it. I gave whatever I want to give it. Um, and then what happened is, I had an option in the box. I had an option in this particular case when I'm editing an intersection. I had an option that said saying that, oh, is it something like provide more information, right? So it asked me for more information. Now here's what I understand when I look at such kind of details. So I've already given a name, and I said it is the brand Junction. And once I was done with the brand Junction, and then it asked me saying, okay, add more details to it. And I thought for myself saying that, okay, if this is something that's going to happen, let's imagine that the person who is reviewing is not actually based out of Mumbai, right? Like let's say that person who is basically reviewing might be sitting in some unknown area, unknown place, or he might have no clue about what this is, about what this place is, and stuff like that, right? So I took that as an assumption, and I went ahead and wrote like a small paragraph there saying that this place is known. This bus stand near it is also called the Brand Junction, and I mentioned things like, this place, in this area, people know it as this particular Brand Junction, but it's not actually mentioned on Google. And that was it. I mean, that did it. I just hit submit, and after about a week, we had confirmation that Google had accepted that request. Now, the simple part of the problem here is that it is possible for you to edit these options, provided you know who is the person on the other end who is going to correct it. Now, think about it. That person has got a lot of job throughout the whole day. Maybe he's reviewing a lot of areas, lot of notifications. All he's doing is he's having a look thinking to himself, imagine that if you were given that job, and you would be editing these things, and if you had something like this come to you, you would not do a double check around it physically by asking people, because, well, you're Google and you're representing Google. So at the end of the day, it's very difficult to monitor everything, right? So there are some slips, there are some cracks over here in the whole system that you can exploit, and that's exactly what I did. So I sent this across. It got approved, and we had a location. We had a branded location. That's the same thing that I did with my road as well. I actually said, saying that, okay, I did not go from my profile. I went through another profile, and I said, saying, hey, you know what, this particular road is famously called so and so. There are at least 100 people living in this area, and they call it with this name. Change the name. So, and that's when they went ahead and actually did the name. If you just directly put saying that, okay, just basics, then it does not really give you, or it does not do justice to what you're trying to say. But you need to kind of give an elaborate explanation as well, and that's what covered it. So that's all what I wanted to cover. I hope you find this exciting, and for those of you who wonder if it is illegal, legal, is it ethical, non-ethical, well, think about marketing as a whole. If it was really about illegality, and if it is something about unethical and stuff like that, then ideally you wouldn't be able to buy Coca-Cola in the market. You wouldn't be able to buy cigarettes in the market, because they're all harmful, right? So if they're harmful, then and as a marketer you have to sell them. So where does ethics come? It does not really make sense. So where ethics plays is a matter of it's a matter of perspective, right? Yes, there are certain values that are required, but there are certain values that are required when it comes to marketing, but it's not. It's very different when it comes to business, right? So there are a variety of things that happen all around the world. The point is, let's say you have these swamis out there who are talking about ethics and stuff like that, and some of them just talk gibberish, and still they are where they are. So the point is, the bottom line is, you are where you are, and they are where they are. So no matter what you talk bad about them, it doesn't really affect them, because that's where they are, and they have that kind of monies behind it. They have that kind of power behind it. They have that kind of backing behind it. You're the one who is at loss, right? So if you're looking at trying to improve yourself, stop thinking about all of these things and start trying to figure out how you can do things that can set you apart, right? And that's what I wanted to cover. So when I look at um, hacking in a system, if somebody tells you, saying that you cannot do that, it doesn't mean you cannot do that. It means that they cannot do that. All right. And what it simply means is that you've never tried, but they have tried and they have failed. But that doesn't mean that when someone says you cannot do that, that doesn't mean you really can't do it. It means